because it's a small group of set of people, and it's a focus group of people, and I really want, that's the reason why we have not made you as a just an attendee, but as an equal participant. And I would really request you to share your concerns, or share any of your queries, etc. Just a disclaimer, I'm not a technical guy, so extreme technical questions might not be the right person to address them. Anyways, the classes are starting next weekend, and a lot of your technical queries and questions would be taught by the experts. So probably I will limit myself to the experiences I have shared, having trained um close to around 3 lakh students so far across various spectrums. So what kind of experiences, and probably give you that industry thought process, and how things are changing around. Okay, so on that note, let me first introduce myself. I am Sumanth, basically an engineer, and then I did my MBA from IIM Kozhikode. I'm sure most of you are aware of IIMs. So I'm one of the alumnus of an IIM. And I think the interesting part of my career started post that. And there's a reason why I'm sharing this story of mine, because I'll probably touch upon that, but it has a very significance towards education. Post my IIM studies, I happen to work with Sony Entertainment Television. So how many of you know this very popular cricketing league, IPL, Indian Premier League? I'm sure most of you know, are aware of it. Yeah. So wherever any question is happening, just a show of hands, your reactions would really help me to understand the fact that you're all following the conversation. So I was one of the founding members of IPL. I work with the likes of Lalit Modi, MS Dhoni's, Sachin Tendulkar's, Virat Kohli, a very big name today, but way back in 2007-8, he was a budding cricketer. Rohit Sharma's and all of them. So I was associated with the first two seasons of IPL when I was with Sony, launching that entire IPL and bringing it to the Indian television. Then I've been into education. I've been almost more than a decade in education. Initially being a teacher. I've been a teacher. I've been teaching students, as I told you, close to around 3 lakh students have been taught by me, directly or indirectly. With my own organization, I was an entrepreneur. So there are few facets of me. One, a teacher facet. Second, an entrepreneur facet. I, been started an organization many years back, which was into teaching students skills which will make them employable, predominantly focusing on students who are in colleges and passing out of colleges. That was in the physical environment, and then transitioned that entire business into online. One of the early movers into online, and a lot of students have been trained, and that's a time when global university systems. Probably I'll also share a small deck which my team has put. Just tell me if you're able to. Yeah, they've started with my own picture, which I don't think I really want you guys to focus much on, because I'm anyways live. So global university systems is a massive educational group based out of London, and their whole model is they have a lot of universities with them, where they actually manage these universities globally. That includes London School of Business and Finance in London. That includes Germany, GISMA in Germany, UCW in Canada, and in India, UPES, which is a Dehradun-based university and a very popular university, ranked 65 in the country, and Pearl Academy, which is into fashion and design. So they manage about 50 plus universities. In fact, some of them they actually privately own them. So it's a massive educational group, and it's been in existence for almost 20 years now. So GUS, its acronym, which we simply refer to as GUS. So Edology was the online vertical from GUS. They really wanted to, now that they have access to so many education institutions, the logical thought process GUS had was to, bring this education into online spectrum. And that's how Edology has come. So Edology is not some random newbie which has come. So this is the kind of places where GUS system is operates, that gives you an understanding of how almost every continent, every as many countries have been in GUS has. So in this place is when Edology, which is the online or the edtech vertical of GUS has emerged. And the whole concept of ideology is twofold. One, partner with these universities, which you see on the screen, and offer online programs, online degree programs, online certification programs. There are two aspects which ideology deals. One, partnering with universities and bringing their educational programs out. And the second is also partnering with industry in bringing out programs which are or certifications which are very close to which will very close to the industry need. As a result, whichever students learns through those programs, they are pretty well versed with what is happening in the industry, and it's very hands-on in that kind of learning. Now, just to give you an understanding, the reason why I want to give you a brief on ideology also is because this particular program which you have signed up for has a partnership of IBM and ideology, and you need to understand what is ideology bringing to you also. Yes, we know what IBM is bringing to us, the entire learning, the curriculum, the tutors, the professionals, all are from IBM. But there's also a role which ideology plays, and I think it's also important for us to understand, because end of the day, you get the best of both the worlds. So having come from such a large education system, the entire endeavor of ideology. So when we were looking at what kind of programs we would like to create in ideology, and one area which is probably the hottest in terms of upskilling and reskilling and need to have a lot of demand is technology space. So when we were going to a lot of students, talking to them, understanding their needs, two very important needs have emerged. One, industry first. That means if a particular content is designed by industry, directly by industry, and is also taught by practicing professionals, that has a very strong learning relevance to what is actually happening in that space. That means, yes, there's one angle which is an academic angle, an institution teaches what to be done through the books, etc. Now that gives you one facet or one angle of what is being taught. But also the most important part is something which you learn to be applied directly onto your job as well. Now that learning is very, very important. So one focus of ideology is to make these programs industry first, and that's where our association with a few of the industry brands like IBM, that's the program of context right now. We have partnered with IBM in creating a suite of technology programs that includes data science, AI/ML, cyber security, that includes cloud computing, full stack, and a few more. Now, the whole concept is that these programs are actually designed by the practicing professionals. What is needed? That means if there's a problem which comes in, if the data set which is being dealt is actually the kind of data sets they are dealing on a day-to-day basis. That way, your learning becomes very enhanced, because what you're learning is not from the book, what you're learning is from what is happening at industry. And then if this is being taught and mentored by the professionals who are practicing these skills, the learning is amplified. And that's the fundamental ethos and the concept of ideology. Bring it from the industry, teach it through the industry, so that the learners gets the maximum level of skill development or upskilling happening through these programs. At the same point of time, one of the need which we also understood from the student is that, yes, industry teaching is beautiful. Industry teaching us is very relevant. But whenever you do any certification, whenever you do any kind of a learning program, you also need a certification, probably from an academic institution. And that's where ideology's strength of being a, if I were to refer this, I come from a media background, so some of my language moves around movies and cricket. I'm sure as Indians we also appreciate it and we enjoy that kind of a all of us have that sensibilities around us. So having come from, if you were to look at ideology, it's like in the entire Khan family, or probably a Bachchan's family, there is Gus is like your Amitabh Bachchan, and probably somewhere ideology is like your Abhishek Bachchan. So the one which is coming out from a massive family. So that means when we start, we also are starting on an advantage of understanding what education is needed for a student, because we are an education first organization. So what kind of skills what kind of learning, what kind of curriculum, and what kind of an academic intervention is needed to make that learning even more amplified. And that's the role ideology plays. Ideology is probably the matchmaker. It brings in all the, or probably the, that that recipe which brings in all the right spices, the right you know right food elements, and create you a dish which is probably the best dish you could ever have. So hence each of our programs, along with an industry partnership, we also ensure there is an academic validation or academic certification which supports the industry learning. Yes, even for IBM, we have done that. This is probably an announcement I'm also making right now. I'm proud to make this announcement. Ideology has partnered with the University of California. On the leftmost, you'll see that emblem of University of California, Irvine. Now, this is one among the top six public universities of the US, globally among the top 30 universities, US based. And the minute you say US based, the technology reverberation happens. And even our IBM data science and AIML programs have been approved by University of California. And very shortly, we will be sharing the details of it. So each of you also have the opportunity just not to get an IBM certification, but also get an additional certification or additional validation from as prestigious university as UCI, including getting an alumnus status there. So that's the kind of masala, or that's the kind of element of stitching together is what ideology does. Bring you the first focus of us is what a learner needs, and bring that need or that particular important element from the industry and from academia, combine it and put it on the plate for you, so that when you consume that, you're becoming healthier. When I use the word healthier, not just physically healthier, but at a learning level, you become healthier. And when you walk into the industry, people will actually be impressed with your learning and your credentials on your resume also. Imagine you walking into an interview or going to your boss for a conversation around your appraisals, having said that, what, I have done this certification program in data science, postgraduate program in data science, with through IBM. They taught us, they mentored me, they were the one who, those are the projects I worked on. And this particular program is also validated by one of the top universities of the US. Suddenly you become the hero of the organization, you're the hero of that particular conversation. Now, this is where I really want to take you back to the power of this entire engagement. Why is this necessary? What is the essence, or what is the thought process when we do this? No, that's the reason why I shared my personal story. A lot of stories I've seen from my student and my own personal life. So I come from a lower middle class family, and this is a story I shared with my students. A place where, for me, the greatest holiday is when my dad takes my brother and me. We are two siblings, along with my mom. All of us are my brother and I are sandwiched in that scooter. My father is driving, my mom is at the end. We all go to a movie. And I come from Hyderabad. I know how many of you are from South India, from this place, and one of the superstar movie heroes out here is Chiranjeevi. So when we go to a Chiranjeevi's movie, once in probably a month or once in 6 months, whenever the movie releases, that for me is the greatest holiday. Now, that's the kind of financial status, or that's the kind of family I came from. To a place where, when I got an admission into Carnegie Mellon University, CMU is among the top, in fact, ranked number 2 in technology. My father could not afford the education. My father said, what, because that needs a lot of loans and need a lot of collateral, etc., and initial money coming from parents. So in spite of having an opportunity to pursue one of the largest, one of the biggest university education, I could not travel to the US to pursue that, because of the kind of financial status of the family. Then I worked for a couple of years, earned my bucks, and then I pursued MBA from another top institution like IAM. But what changed after that is tremendous. Probably being an engineer from a tier 2 or a type 3 college, might not ever had me an opportunity to work in a large platform like IPL, because I am an alumnus of IAM, because the kind of learning I went through that those that program. Suddenly, when I went for my interviews with something like IPL, I was regarded, I was considered a two. That learning really helped me to position myself well, got an opportunity, and then after that, life is different. Today, from a lower middle class family, my family was able to grow into an upper middle class, right? I trained a lot of students who went to the US. I talked to a lot of US universities, these Carnegie Mellons, etc., which I could not reach. Today, I partner with them. UCI, for example, I partner with them. I had one of the largest businesses right now. So the entire change of phase has happened through one very critical phase of my life, which was education. So the power of education, and when you do it at the right time, is that it transforms lives. Just not financially, it empowers you in every sense. The learning you come through this, the kind of understanding you go through this, it just transforms lives, and it transforms not just your life, the people around you also. And that's the reason why I'm very passionate about education. Whenever when I spent my time training students, when I spent my time starting my own education, when I spent my time right now heading a business like Urology, the whole endeavor is to enable students, is to transform students, and one of our ethos is to partner with the students so that their careers get transformed for a positive side of things. So whatever is needed there is what the ethos of ideology. Okay, always the thought process is very simple. What if I teach to the student? What if I give to the student? Will help his or her, the resume credentials, will help his or her learning, so that the objective there is they transform in their careers, they grow in their careers, they will be the happier self of them, the successful side of theirs. Now that is the ethos, just not of ideology, but the entire GUS organization. We believe in that in that ethos. And when we do this, and one of the other fundamental for a lot of people like me who missed an opportunity to pursue quality education, one of the important element has been the two aspects: the affordability of that education, the accessibility of that education. And one very important problem as GUS we were really trying to address is to make the education as accessible as possible. Quality education. I'm not talking about any mean education. You have accessibility to a lot of probably level 2, level 3 kind of an education also. But a combination like IBM and UCI is right up there. I mean, so if this is a quality, make it accessible. And how do we make it accessible? And that's the power of online. Today, a lot of you are working professionals. You don't have to really quit your job to pursue this education. Okay, you don't have to quit your jobs to learn from IBM. You don't have to go on, and to a tuition. You don't have to go to the US just to pursue from UCI. One, the entire objective of making it accessible, and not just in India, but making it accessible to every corner of this continent, because that's the power of GUS. We have a reach into almost every corner. So some of our students who are pursuing or will be pursuing on ideology are just not from India. You would be rubbing shoulders with your peers from Africa, from Europe, from the US, from Singapore. So then imagine the kind of learning you're going to go through. Any learning has three-fourth learning to it. One, the teacher who teaches us. And that's the reason why we bought the best IBM. They have so many patents in terms of data science and AI ML, and this is probably the best there. And they have such an innovation center. So one is the who is teaching you is very, very critical. Yes, there are a few IBM content which is available in other places also, but are they being taught by the IBM professionals? The answer is no. This is the first of its kind, one of its kind, where we made a very exclusive deal with the IBM saying, if this is the content, if this is the program you're building for ideology students, it has to be the best in the segment, and it has to be taught by your professionals, because only when the teaching comes from the horse mouth, the learning is the most impactful. So and they've agreed to that, and that's the contract we have had. So even if some of you would have had these conversations around, okay, are there no other IBM programs? Answer is yes. There are IBM programs, there are UCI programs, all that is there. There are multiple, cricket matches which happens, but the prime victory is when a team wins a World Cup, right? So that's the kind of World Cup team. So whenever we are creating a World Cup team, The same player might be there in IPL. The same player might be playing some other Zimbabwe series or a West Indies series or an England series. But when it comes to the World Cup, you're very clear on the 15 you need to carry so that you become, you win that World Cup. And that's the kind of thought process which went into it. So one is the learning from who teaches you is very, very important. Second, the outcome out of it is also very, very important. Any learning which is not driven towards an outcome which will help you to grow in your career might not be really helpful. Now, if you have a combination like IBM professionals teaching you, validated by University of California, that is probably one of the best outcomes you have signed up for. And three, all this beauty. Yes, I would like to have fantastic food. I would like to have the best pizza in the in the nation, but the affordability also becomes very, very important. So one of the third thing which we always ensure when we are coming through ideologies programs is to make it really affordable also, right? When I say affordability, the problem with affordability is that people associate with cheap. The way I see affordability is value for money. If I am investing X amount of money into something, now if I were to ask you, is an iPhone affordable mobile compared to a lot of others mobile? Some people will say yes, some people will say no. But understand, it's all about not about how much I'm paying, but the kind of value for money. Value for money is equal to affordability. So the whole when you look at iPhone, the amount of experience that gives you, it makes you feel value for money. You get addicted to it. You cannot move to some other. I'm not sure how many of you are Apple users, but one of the things you understand with Apple is that the minute you start using Apple, it becomes very difficult to transition to some other technology or some other IO or some other software, because they make it they make the experience so compelling. They make the experience so amazing that you get used to that experience. You don't want to let go of that experience. As a result, you would like to invest into that. And one of the things, guys, you need to understand is that if there are two places where you should never compromise your investment, or how what you are putting into it, is quality education, quality healthcare. Now, because healthcare will come, it's a separate conversation. I'm sure all of you appreciate that part of it. But the reason of quality education is a place where, if I were you, I would like to invest, is because, and I keep saying this, is an investment we are making here. And any investment also will have a return on investment, return over investment, right? So the whole objective of education being a right investment, especially the quality education being the right investment, the whole objective for us is to get the best return on investment also. Hence, that investment into the right learning experiences, the right learning program is very, very critical. And that is what this particular program of IBM, and very soon we'll start referring it as IBM and UCI program, comes into play. And our objective as ideology is to bring that best experience to you, just not in terms of the curriculum, which is very important, curriculum, the people who are teaching it, but right from the learning platform you would be using. And that's a place where ideology once again has partnered with the best learning management systems like Blackboard in offering you that kind of a learning proposition. So the whole idea is that, okay, who do I learn from? What am I learning for? Where do I learn from? All these three are very, very critical. So you're learning from the best, you're learning with an objective of the entire return on investment, and the place where you learn, the entire platform on you learn is also very important. Now that's the piece, and that's the kind of stitching which ideology has been doing, and that's exactly what we are bringing to you through this program of IBM and IBM UCI. All right, so that's the brief on what this program is about, what are we looking at it, all the detailing of it. I'm sure you're already aware of it, and you would be made to know more about it, and you would have got an experience on the learning management system, how that learning will happen, how do you track the call poll, how do you get to access yours it. I'm sure all of you would have gone through those operational elements of it, but the reason why I wanted to share this vision of us is because you are an equal, you are an equal invested stakeholder to this vision also, and your success is very, very important for us. Hence, there are a lot many more services we are adding to this program. Of course, as you're already aware of it, the top 3 performers of this program will be eligible, would be considered by IBM through their interviews, etc., and and we'll prepare you towards it. So one of the services we are adding is to support you on your career services, help you to probably prepare for these interviews, help you to probably connect to a few more companies through this learning. Because again, we are from GUS, so we have that network. In for our UPS university itself, we deal with close to around 250 or 300 companies. So the idea is to showcase the value of all the kind of learnings you're going through to the various organizations also, because everybody needs talent. Whether you are the right talent or not is the entire effort behind preparing you to be the right talent which industry needs, and the kind of growth as a result you can get out of this learning as well, right?
Hi guys, please bear with us. I guess there will be some network issue. So Sumanth sir will be right back shortly. Thank you.
Sorry, I think my signal has lost. All right, I'm back. Hope you're able to see me and hear me again. So yeah, thanks, Pooja. So the whole, the whole concept of coming out with this is to probably give you that kind of an experience in terms of learning, in terms of enjoying your learning. That's very, very important, and eventually support you in reaching to that particular objective, which is to look at enhanced career. So whatever career services to be offered, and that's again something which is happening. So as you are through the program, you will get to start hearing from us on what kind of initiatives we are taking, what kind of partnerships we are having there, which will help you by the time you complete the program, you're in a place where you are ready for the industry, you're ready to have a conversation with your managers, or have an internal move in. I'm sure some of you might want to move from the space which you are looking at right now into a probably in the space of data science and AI/ML. So what to be done there, so that will help you go there. And I know that's the kind of preparation we would like to focus on, right? And I know that's exactly the place where uh, this particular program uh, brings you to. And I think this is the time where we need to also understand, and that's where I asked my team to work on a couple of important slides. One, of course, is then what where is the technology itself is transition. See, because one, we really, all of us want to grow in our careers, but being uh, abreast with what is happening in technology and why is there an opportunity, what are the kind of skills they're looking forward to, is very, very important, right? So I'm sure some of the stats you're all aware of it. One, the entire focus, everybody today, you go, because we speak with a lot of industry folks, and each one, including IBM, everybody comes with one very important problem statement saying, you know what, especially skills like data science and AI/ML, there's a huge demand for them, and that's where the future of our technology is going to become. And or rather, it's already happening right now. But there is also a tremendous gap between what the industry skills industry need and what actually students possess. So when we were working with IBM, the whole concept is that we were trying to understand, okay, what kind of gaps are they seeing in terms of technological skills, in terms of the soft skills, in terms of the kind of vision or some the application of the skills they were having. Why is there a gap when there's so much? See, understand something, there is so much of food which can be which is there in a hotel. There's somebody who is hungry for that. All we need right now is a medium which ensures that both of them are connected, right? And that medium for you is ideology. So the whole concept, the whole thought process behind that is that how, what if we teach to every student, what if we enable every student to build upon that particular gap between what industry needs and what a student has is going to be as minimal as possible. That addresses two sides of the problem. One, from an industry side, their needs are met in terms of having the right people for the right job. From a learner perspective, each one of you also come with a need, and that need is to grow in your career. That need is to probably change your career, become successful in your career. to develop the skills which will actually empower you as a human and probably take you forward in your career or elsewhere also. And some of course also have a very personal learning interest itself. So the whole point is these needs have to meet right now. And that's exactly the overall thought was. So when I was speaking with IBM, that's the kind of conversation I've had with IBM. Okay, what if you are your industry and you are the one who's going to absorb this talent, you are the one who's going to give them an opportunity. So what skills if we were to impart to the students in a particular way or a particular format, in a particular applicability of those skills, will they progress ahead? Will you be really excited about having that? And that's exactly what you're going to go through over the next few months, being taught those skills, being imparted that learning experience, so that when you are out, you are actually ready. Guys, when you walk into a war, it's not the winning of the war is about, it's all comes down to 99% of the preparation towards that war. And of course, I don't want to magnify this into a cinematic war zone, but for me, career is like a constant battles which we go through. And it's very, very important for us to be engaged towards that, and more importantly, committed towards that. And whatever could be the best to be done through ideology, we are putting into that to make you successful. But understand very, very simple thing: the success or failure of any career is not in the hands of somebody else. Of course, one, God's blessing; two, it's in your own hands. Are you also equally committed towards that? Because it's only you who can redefine it. When I had I missed that opportunity to go to the US to pursue my masters there. I could have easily resigned to the fact that this is my state, accepted it, this is what I could do, what I could not do. And by the way, uh, it's such an irony that most of my schooling and my learning happened in a Telugu medium school, and eventually actually ended up teaching English. So look at the change of shift will happen. That was a very conscious effort from my side to ensure that the right skills are being built inside me, so that I can be at the place where I would like to be there, in terms of IPL, in terms of part of GUS, in terms of transforming so many students. All that was because of a very conscious effort to go through that education system. And that's all probably I'm requesting each one of you: take this program seriously, because this has a potential to transform your careers, take you to the heights you would have probably not even imagined. That's how this program has been built. That's the kind of commitment IBM and we and UCF, all of us have brought into this program to build one of the best, to help you, each one of you, to probably go to the heights. Because your success, that's probably always the most honest feeling of any teacher or any education company. When a student is happy, when a student is successful, that is probably the greatest gratification we end up getting, more than anything else. So your success, your positive stories, your transformations is what we are striving for. Where we are just a partner in that. It's not our fight. It cannot just be my fight. I fight and you don't support me, then the transformation will not happen. It's your fight, it's your battle. All I'm going to give you is the right weapons, the right artillery, the right ground, the entire support system around it. But the person, the man or the woman who's standing right in the war field trying to win that battle is you. And all that support you require, we're going to give that. If it's your responsibility to take that support, use that support and keep moving forward. And this is a very typical phenomena which happens. Not, and I'm being honest with you at upfront, not while I love to, but not every one of you would eventually cross the finishing line. But something I share with my students: the people who cross the finishing line are the ones who are going to be the heroes. Right now, whenever somebody says you the hero, who are the heroes in a group, never look around for heroes. Always point to your own self. Am I that one? Am I that hero who is going to cross the finishing line? It is going to be a very torturous path through, while we're trying to make it very easier, but no path towards transformation is that easy. It's going to be a very challenging path. There are going to be times when you feel, what, this weekend I'll compromise, what, the next few weeks I'll take off, what, right now my work is so much, I don't want to spend some time on it. I mean, some of you go to a gym, you understand that every day you have an excuse not to go to a gym. But who are the people who actually transforms in their physical fitness? How to maintain that discipline and consistency. This was an interview, I was a part of with Virat Kohli. And when people asked him, what makes you time and again so successful? He said one very beautiful statement he made. He said, I go through the same boring thing every day. Boring things is what has made me to go to excellence. Every day morning, 5 a.m., I wake up, I go to my training. It's boring, going to the gym, doing the same routine day in and day out, day in and day out, going back to the same cricket match, to the same net. Nobody's around me. I just have to do my net practice. Okay. I eat the same food day in and day out because unless that I cannot be physically fit. I do these boring things every day. Initially, they were all boring. Sometimes it becomes boring. But I always ask myself, if I do the same thing 10,000 times, I start doing the same boring things, what will happen? It becomes a part of me. So next time when I go on into a cricket match, it becomes a natural for me. It is not something which I'm looking forward to, so to somebody come and help me. So sometimes in this journey of your learning through this program, and that is true for any learning programs, any effort you're putting in, it becomes boring, it becomes taxing, it becomes frustrating. You feel something is not working for you. Something else is taking your priority. But whenever such kind of confusion or thought comes into your mind, always ask yourself, what is my objective? What is my eventual objective out of this all this churn? Because the beauty of any success not lies in crossing just the finishing line, but through the struggle and the journey you go through it. That is what makes success so very valuable, because not everybody will be able to go through it. Some of you will drop out, some of you will give up, some of you might feel, okay, this is not for me, and that is absolutely understandable, because after training so many students, at least that data point I have, and I'm not talking I'm talking from a very factual point of view. But the key is that, are you the person who's dropping out, or are you the person who's enduring to cross the finishing line? That's all is the difference between somebody who moves to want to become a successful data scientist or an AIML professional, or somebody who's still wishing to be one. Do you want to remain by end of this program? Do you want to be one, or do you want to still remain wishing to be one? That's the fundamental difference. If you are the one you believe you can be there, then be there. You'll get all the support from our side. So all I request from your side is that you have to endure through this. You have to go through this. It cannot, miracles do not happen just when you open your eyes. Miracles happen through an effort, a concerted effort. Somebody goes through it. We only see the result. People only see the world where some miraculous happen, but behind that, there's so much which goes through that. And I believe in my students that each one of you has an ability to create that miracle. And one of the things you should understand is that the pace at which technology is changing today is probably faster than anything else. And your readiness is not only should not be only for today's technology, but it should also be towards tomorrow's technology. As we speak, new words like Web 3.0s, metaverses are taking the data science in AIML now is started becoming okay. It's there everywhere. Future of technology is changing. In fact, one of these days, I probably will make you go through this experience, because our job, again, as I told you, is just not to prepare you as students for today, but it's prepare you as professionals for tomorrow. So whenever the evolution is happening, we will keep bringing that to you. One of the experiences, in fact, we are working on that kind of a model, and you will actually be them who's going to experience it. It's a promise. By the time this program does, through this program, you might actually experiences a couple of sessions actually through metaverse. That means they actually happen in a complete meta environment. Yes, I'm not even joking. That is something which we are planning to implement, and you guys are going to experience that. Why is it necessary for you to, why is it important for you? Again, whenever I do something, or whenever we think about some kind of models, our all concept is, how will that help a student? Because that is the future, or probably that is what is expected to be the future. Whether that is or not, secondary, but at least you should be prepared. When you know that there might be a possibility of the war, will you wait for the enemy to be on the line of line there? No, you are preparing for that, so that any point of time that comes in, you're ready for it. Any point of time the change happens, you are ready for, you are ready. And I trust me when I say that people who are ready, people who are already there, are the ones who are going to be the leaders. People who start changing once a change comes in, or start then building all the skills, are the late entries. And then the leaders will always be there, and these people will be reporting into or following those leaders. The fact that you people have embarked on this journey, I believe each one of you is a leader. All you need to know right now is continue to be a leader, continue to grow as a leader. And that's where our idea was to give you the experience through Meta, what kind of evolutions are happening in technology, what else to be done, so that you are ready for that kind of a change. Right? So all in all, it's I think it's time for all of us to grow together. One of the things, and that's a promise I'm making, and there only, I only make one promise, a promise which we end up doing, especially to my student. A promise which we cannot do, no, we will not even make that. The promise is very simple. We will prepare you. We are giving you one of the best programs with the best combinations that will help your credentials, that helps your learning, that makes you ready to be considered among the best of the best career opportunities. Alongside, also groom you and prepare you for the future of technology. That's my promise. The promise I need from my students, from our students of ideology, is that that you trust in us and you put all your 100% commitment toward this program. Together, then let's grow. Together, let's ensure that your aspirations, your career, growth or your success is happening. Because I'm repeating this again, in your success lies our gratification. In your success lies our success. So if I'm ensuring that you are successful, then I'm ensuring I am also successful, just not, from any kind of a business perspective, right from as a satisfaction perspective. And that's all is effort you're going to put in. You have made, congratulations, the fact that you have made the choice to be a part of this program. And yes, sometimes and you are the first batch of this IBM and ideology program. First batch means you have trusted us. And one of the things we take it very personally is somebody trusting in us. You have trusted in us. We will ensure that your trust is delivered to the maximum. Right? Also understand the fact that when you are among the first of a particular batches, you will have certain teething issues. So do bear with us on that. But because our effort is to help you there, at the same point of time, you are the pioneers. So you have the advantage of learning one of these programs at the first. By the time somebody else embarks on this program of such a powerful program, you're already right there, top there. All right. So that's the spirit in which you should continue to doing that. And I wish you all the very best, and look forward for more and more interactions. We are always available. Any point of time you're feeling any trouble, you can always write to me. I'll ask my team to share my email ID, because I'm personally invested into each one of your success. So I would love to know, how you're growing. I will probably be doing a few of the mentor programs, mentorship for you, especially in terms of career services, in preparing towards that, because that's my strength. I have trained, as I told you, almost 3 lakh students in helping them get into good companies, helping them to grow in their companies. Technology is taken care by IBM and the mentors from there, but probably the other skills which are required for you to succeed, and I'll also be equally involved into that learning and that grooming piece of it. So together, let's ensure that you are growing. All right. Thank you, guys. And now I'm open for any questions you would like to ask, anything you would like to share. Considering the fact that we are a decently small group, anybody who would like to speak, please turn on your camera. It could be as simple as your profile, your experience, what you are looking forward to from this program. All right, or anything you would like to ask questions. Absolutely, we have probably 10 minutes to do that. And yeah, anyone? I really would like to hear from our students. So please, if you're not comfortable coming onto the camera, you can always unmute and speak as well.
Hi. So I'll go. This is
Yes.
Vikas.
I was about to say, do you want me to call out the names? And you're the first name which I wanted to call out. So yeah, those are
Oh.
Vikas. Yeah.
Thank- So the degree or the certificate which we'll get will be affiliated to University of California and IBM both, right? So when we'll go
Yes.
to the market,
Yeah. So because just to answer at this point of time, the program which you are signed up to is for IBM certification, as you're all aware of it. Okay. UCI, in fact, we've just signed up an agreement, and probably end of this month we will announce that that will also come into play for the same program, because end of the day, they what they approve is the content, the curriculum, the delivery, the outcomes, etc. And they've already approved for the data science AML. So we will be reaching out to you saying, okay, but there is also an additional certification you can come to it, and this is the proposition, and there would be a minimal fee or something, because end of the day the documentation, etc. If that is fine, then that can be, we have to share the set of students who would be eligible, who would seek USAI certification also. So yes, when that happens, you get both the certifications.
okay.
That addresses your question.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
In
Yes.
terms of placement,
Mm.
any. So,
You know the answer to the question anyways, because see, if anybody comes and promises you that they're going to get you a job, do you think I had told you that there are there are three kinds of promises, which we usually make. One is a concrete promise. That means a yes is a yes, a no is a no promise. Second, a possible promise. You know what? I really want to put in that effort, happen or not happen, God's grace and things way it happens. Third is a false promise. You know that you are never going to meet it, and you still end up making it. Okay, just to satisfy somebody else at that moment. So for me, enabling you, what is my concrete promise? I will ensure that you get the skills, both technical, other skills on softer side, and on the preparation towards interviews, etc., so that you're ready when the opportunity comes in. At least one promise which we have been announcing and which we made is that the top performers would be given an opportunity to present yourselves to IBM. And so we are trying to plan like a demonstration, probably at the end of the program, where you demonstrate your learnings. Probably you'll take up a business, a data set, a business caselet on how you've applied the learning which you've got on. And that's a part of the entire project which IBM is doing with you also. The IBM professionals are going to mentor you through that. And the best presenters there will get actually an opportunity to have a conversation with the interview with the companies. And the idea is not just to restrict it to IBM being there. We'll also invite a few other companies for that forum, so that you are able to present yourself to those companies. Now, will they select you or not? Honestly, that's something I cannot promise. I cannot make it a concrete promise, because I can't go to a company and say, you know what, you just have to select somebody. You know that. And I've been a part of placement committee in IAM. I'm telling you this with my own experience. I'm working very closely with those HRs, etc. They don't even appreciate that. What they want to see is good talent. And knowing them, the minute they see a good talent, nobody wants to lose it, including me. I'm looking for data scientists. I'm looking for, probably a few of you, I might absorb into my own need also, because we are working on a lot of machine learning models. We are working on a lot of data analysis which has to happen, business analytics. All right, that's a team I'm building on. So for all I myself might recruit you if I believe there's a talent, but unless somebody really is there, none of us want to do that also, because none of us want. And today's world, the way it's changing is that earlier anybody, everybody, but today it's very choiceful hiring which is happening. All right. So to answer your question, preparedness, giving you all the skills, bringing opportunities is probably a concrete promise. Will that means, will I guarantee a placement to you? The answer is no. And it'll be wrong of me. And I don't want to really make a promise which will not happen. But we will put in all the effort so that you're ready for that. And work on the opportunities which will make you, at least your exposure is happening.
quite a satisfactory answer.
Appreciate that. And this is the promise which is going to happen. Don't even have a second word about it. The only promise I will not make is, will you definitely get me a job? That's because that's not just in my hands.
Then agree, completely agree.
Yeah.
And it will be live projects we'll be working on, or it.
See, when you say live, no, data is very private to a lot of companies. You understand that,
No,
they
dummy
will not
data.
allow you to.
On,
Sorry.
on dummy data.
Yes, yes. So not on a dummy data which is there, but not that sensitive. You understood? Because
Yeah. Got
they
it.
cannot give access you to a sensitive data point. So this is a conversation which we already had with IBM. So they said, okay, we will bring out certain data, probably a closed part of it, or something which is not sensitive. Yeah. Not data which is right now has an implication on some organization, which is not very comfortable.
The live transactional data will.
Correct, correct. Yes, more. So, Vikas, what's your profile like? Just out of curiosity, I just want to ask you, where are you working?
I am associated with T-Systems, and I am working as a solution architect.
Amazing.
So primarily in SAP domain. So and I take care of the implementation, SAP implementation projects or migration or SAP cloud migration and ECC to legacy to S4HANA migration projects. So primarily, I'm not a technical folk, and my job is to coordinate with people and get means primarily a solution architect means in SAP there are several modules like finance, SD, MM, PP. So one person cannot be master of all. So my background is like I come from this business intelligence background and BI BPO. And then I coordinate with all the team members and work on the effort, pricing, overall solutioning, and then sometime present it to the client as well. That this is your solution. This is what it takes.
Amazing, amazing. So look forward you to get some enriching learning, so that because we are also looking for BI experts. So hopefully
Not
the
an
combination.
expert, but yes, jack of all, master of none.
This program probably will make you an expert. So let's work towards that.
Definitely, fingers crossed.
Thanks, Vikas. Look forward.
Time to time, please keep giving this motivational speeches. That we should not give up. Sorry to call it as a motivational speech, but yes, it sounded so. It gives you courage. Means if you have a second thought in your mind, when you listen, and especially from your mentor and their learnings and their experience, it boosts you. So once in a month or
absolutely
quarterly.
Okay, to my team, which is there, second promise, a very regular meetings. I would like to address this group purely, of course, as we go forward. One of the things I was also looking forward to is just not to address in a random way, but also use, like you guys are already into data, AI, ML, etc. Again, that's not my area of expertise, but I will not ever get into that piece. Experts to be teaching that. But to take data in, probably sharing the observations which I'm also looking at it, because one of the beauty about data is that it gives you a truth into the story, and then you add to what to be done there, adds that value to that story, and that's exactly what is being taught to you through these programs also. So we will definitely have regular conversations. The most of the times my conversations end up becoming a little motivational, purely because I think the journey I have gone through, the journey of students I have seen through, I still remember there's one student. In fact, he comes from a family where his father is an auto driver, right? And he wrote, because I was into training students for GRE, CAT, and skill development. That was in my area. Now, this person really, really struggled for a good 2-3 years in, especially when he was preparing. And he comes from a completely non-English background, and his entire vision was to go out of India, because never ever, not a single person in their family ever traveled outside. He was in Visakhapatnam, a very small city in Andhra Pradesh at that point of time. Now, of course, Visakhapatnam is a very decently popular place. None of his family members ever moved out of that city ever. Okay, so his only aspiration in his life was to move out of that city, if possible, go to a different shore altogether, to the US or to England, etc. And that's all he was fighting for. And he couldn't speak a single. When the day he walked in, he couldn't speak a single word of English. Now, imagine if I can understand somebody moving out of city of Visakhapatnam going to North India or so. You need to know Hindi, or you can just manage it. But when you go abroad, you need to have the necessary skill of English. And this gentleman never had it. And he was really, really battling. And then he comes and look at the way that's what I'm saying, that the way the power of a goal is so transformation itself. The first change in transformation comes in when you have that kind of an ambitious goal. And that was very ambitious. He came, sat in front of me and said, he was trying to speak it in mixed English and Telugu, that his entire wish was that I would like to go to the US. I was like, dude, come on. I mean, I understand your aspiration, but the place where he was, is it even possible? And he struggled every time he wrote an exam like GRE or any other examination. He's really, really struggled. He just went on. He just endured through it for 3 years. Today, my dear friends, he passed out of and he got an admission into IIM Bangalore. He got admission into MIT. MIT, I'm sure all of you are aware of it. He's an alumnus of MIT. All right. And today he heads one of the technological innovations of Google. And he does webinars, seminars, kind of delivery across the world and everything in English. Now, understand that power. That's what I'm saying. There are two very important things, 3 important things about it. One, education has a power. It just transforms life. And I'm telling you with multitude of experience I've seen in people. But it is not an easy journey to go through. Everybody goes through the struggle. I went through my struggle. Each of you would have gone through your own struggles. But the ability to fight back, not give up, and endure, because whenever we are stuck at the struggle, always ask ourselves, what's the objective? He is only passionate about his only objective is only one thing, to go to a different shore and become an example to the rest of his family members. The means he chose were all different. And today, probably that might not be his objective anymore, but it transformed his life. And that's something which we as an organization really want to fight for. It's just not teaching you some data science or an AI/ML skill. That can be done by a lot of people. I'm sure you know a lot of other systems along which it does that. For me, the success is if I'm able to transform each of you and take you to your desired destination, to your goal. That is gratification. Right? Sure. Thanks, Vikas, for the sharing that your thoughts. Really appreciate them. And yes, we will keep interacting multiple times. Yeah, Rucha, I think
yeah.
you want
Yes. Hello, sir. My name is Rucha. I had 4 years of corporate job experience already. I'm a computer science graduate actually. But after that, I took a gap. Like since the COVID hit off, I took a gap to start my own wellness initiative. I'm an entrepreneur myself right now. But then I also thought of why not combine, because I have this natural inclination towards understanding the business. I run my own business as well. Plus, I have a little coding experience. But the only thing is that now I have a gap from the industry of like 2 years or more. So how that would affect my placement, or how could I end up having a job at the same time I run my own business?
All right, beautiful. I mean, again, couple of examples. The reason why I keep sharing these examples is because these are all solved problems for us, for me at least. Somewhere somebody has gone through this. So just inside story, my sales head, and it's a very, very important role for me. He heads the entire ideology and the entire online business for sales. Before he met me, and he again has beautiful career. He took a break for a year and a half. Then he came to me and asked the same question a couple of years, I guess. He asked me the same question. I took a break. My only question to him is, what do you do in your break? Did you take a break and no evolution happened on your skills? It's a concern for me. So he took me to the kind of learnings he has gone through his break. And today he's sitting in the organization.
Okay.
So one of the things we should understand is that people don't judge you whether you're working or not. When you say you have a gap, people only will understand how did you leverage that. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to have a break. Everybody appreciates or understands that. And especially in externally enforced elements like COVID, absolutely understandable. But did you just give up on that? And you know what? now break, I cannot do anything, I'm idle, because there's a very popular saying, idle man's mind is a dash workshop, you know that very well. All right. So are you just idling away? But the way I understand, Rucha, you're not doing that. You are spending it in a purposeful way, which is an amazing testament to your character, to your willingness to fight. See, all these skills like data science, AI, ML, NOMA, they're all technical skills. They only show one facet of a human. But the real part of human is your endurance, your learning willingness to learn. Because as I told you, today's technology might not be anymore the flavor for tomorrow. But if you are a person who always endeavors and always craves for that learning, that means you're a person who adapt to tomorrow's technology also.
Yeah,
So
true.
that willingness is important. If you're able to present that willingness, you know what? I'm just not giving up. I'm running my own. I'm understanding business. I am learning skills from professionals. And this is the kind of teaching I have. I'm applying, and your business gives you a right experimental platform to apply this also. Now that becomes a very, very strong story. In fact, in today's world, entrepreneurs, startups are seeking such kind of people, because they know that you have that aspiration. They know that you are not giving up when the situation is not in your favor. You're willing to learn, you're willing to apply, you're willing to be on your own. Amazing skills to have. So look at, I mean, whenever and that I think this is something which I will probably interact with you when I'm doing that specific session on how do you narrate your story, because one of the most important things, and I'm a marketing guy in that sense, so probably you can understand that a little more. See, there are always an important thing you need to understand. There are a lot of things we have done in our life or not done in our life, but the beauty is about conveying the right story, probably a 3-word story about, or 3-liner story to the person who's listening to us, because he would have heard thousands of other stories. The story you would have told, thousands of other applicants also will be telling a story to an interviewer, isn't it? But our ability to convey the right story about us so that they keep it in their mind, they don't forget it. We watch hundreds of movies, but there are some movies which leaves those mark in our mind, and we keep thinking about it once we finish that movie and go back also. They keep running in our mind, bothering us, making us happy, or just leaving that aftertaste feeling. That's the kind of story power. If you're able to create such a story or convey such a story, oh, I mean, then amazing. No, everybody will be impressed by that. All right, which I will probably take with you when we're talking about the art of storytelling about our own self to somebody. That's a very, very important skill to impress upon people, so that they subscribe to our other skills also.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, appreciate once again. Any other questions? Anything else you would like to share? Good. Then, as I told you, we'll keep interacting regularly. I will try to. I mean, I'll probably will share a schedule where I will myself will do an hour, and my focus again is to focus on just not. I mean, technical definitely not, but more important to enable you with those skills and those right thing what an industry looks forward to, along with technical skills, so that you are building on that thought process also, which will once again help you when you are given that opportunity, you're ready from 360 angle. All right. And any point of time, any time you would need, you can always write directly to me. Pooja, share my email ID, to our students also. Yes, we have our students supporting, Pooja. Everybody is more than supportive. She is your point of contact. But if you believe any of your concerns are not being addressed, and I keep saying to my team, I request to that my students also, good news, even after I hear it after a month, I don't mind, because good news is always a good news. Bad news, tell me ASAP, because the minute you delay a bad news, it becomes a worse news. Okay, so any point of time you believe, my students as well, if you believe that something is not being addressed to you, all right, of course, as I told you, the ethos of each of our team members is to put you as our central focus. So when we look in the mirror, we don't see ourselves, we see you. Okay, that's the image I've actually created in front of my team also. Other day, Pooja, you remember that image?
Yes,
In
sir.
the mirror, you are not seeing yourself, you're seeing our students.
Right,
All
sir.
right. So your concerns, your issues, your needs are the most important things to us. If you believe they're not being met a couple of times, I will ensure that they are being met. Of course, as long as they are in my control, because as I told you, there's one commitment I'm not promising you on. But yeah, anything you believe is not happening the right way, or your expectations is not happening in the right way, you feel, down sometimes, you feel demotivated, always know to seek help. Because many a times as humans, we get into a shell, we don't speak up, then all things bottle up, and they suddenly, take you off your path. So you believe, I'm feeling demotivated, this classes are not really helping me, something is not working for me. Personally, something I'm struggling right now, where I'm in a confused state right now. All these are acceptable feelings and emotions, and as humans we have a plethora of them. Please feel free to reach out to us, either to our student point of contact Pooja, or if you believe that something is not working out, Suresh, are you there on the call, on the in the meeting as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So Suresh manages the entire customer team, the experience part of it. You can reach out to Suresh as well. Do share these emails, Pooja. And if you believe that none of them are able to address your concern or issues, I'm always there. Right? Because for me, it was a very simple. If my student is not sleeping well at night, I can't go to sleep well that night. Okay, so I'll ensure that you are comfortable on that aspect. Right?
All right, sir.
So thank you all for your time. Appreciate you taking off your time on this Sunday. Wish you guys a happy Independence Day tomorrow. Celebrate. You will get the schedule of the session starting, etc. From I think from 20th or so. I think the team is planning to start the first session. Yeah, where it's be a session which initial sessions would be common to the students who are learning data science and AI/ML, because the skills are very necessary and you need to understand how the interchangeability of the skills are also happening. So that's how the planning has been made. And more and more people would be, more and more sessions would keep happening between us also, and we can have more and more open heart conversations as well. And I wish you all the very best. Stay focused. You know your objective. You know where you want to reach. Any other distractions, keep fending them away. And trust me, trust us. We are equal partners in your journey. But the fight is yours. The commitment is yours. Right? Look forward to. Thank you all a lot. Have a great Sunday. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Happy Independence Day to all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.